If I may put it this way, in the 80s, it was the music business. Now it's the business of music. Back then, if you played the blue note, there was always a table in the back. There was a table in the back for the musicians. So if Robert came in, or I came in, Chris, any of the guys came in, you always had a table to go to as a musician. Now it's all touristy. You know, you play there one night. I played in the place with Kenwood. And they had TM stew, Kenwood's soup. You know, they name a dish after you. The next night I came in, they said $20. Excuse me, last night it was TM stew and you're charging me. That was last night. $20. So they don't focus on the music as much now. It's more about how many people are in the place and tourists. Now we record in home studios. And back in the day, you know, you and I, we would play, you'd see the drummer, you see the guitar, we would play and it would be magic. Now you play in your own confines and then you send an MP3 or a WAV file to somebody. But because we've had so much experience at that, we can imagine what the drummer's doing. Well, what about a young kid? He's sitting in his bedroom going, he can't see the drummer, so you can't have as much magic. I'm not down in the kids' music, but back in the day, we had to play. We had a big session scene here. Everybody was here. Because back then I got the Joe Cocker gig here. I got to work with Tina Turner here. And I got the job with the Pretenders because I was a session guy. We had pagers. You remember those things? Zzz, in your pocket. TM, there's a Coke jingle. You run, you do the Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, and then you get out the studio. Bzz. Oh my God, Billy Joel, which I did do. Keeping the Faith, remember that song? I'd run and do one of his. Right after that, I'd run and do another jingle. And I mean, this went on and on. I did Gloria Gaynor, all these things. And so we had a scene here in New York. It was moving. And that attracted a lot of musicians because the work was here. In fact, I used to go to the coffee shop down on Waverly, and Chuck Rainey was sitting there with Jaco because I finished a gig at 3 in the morning and I sat down, I looked back. That's Jaco, what are you doing here? And there's Chuck Rainey sitting with him. And then we started talking bass till 6 in the morning in the coffee shop over some omelets. And I mean, that kind of influence, you can't buy that. The heads were here. And the reason why I mentioned the jingles and all that is because that's what attracted the musicians. But then once everybody's here, then we're all in it together. And you can't, no man's an island. You need influences and just to be with each other and talk, and that's what we had. The persona was you can be yourself and still make it, or you can try to be what you think people want you to be and still have the same chance. It's 50-50 either way. So I can try to be, you know, because I try to get, you know, I got record deals in Japan and Europe. I put out 7 records as TM. Came here to get a record deal. I go, well, you know, you're black, and why are you playing rock? I said, what do you mean? What color can you hear? Music is music, but they too much, you should do this demographic, that demographic, you look like this. So if I have my pants falling off my butt with a backwards hat going, yeah, son, maybe they would understand that. But what Jaco did was he said, you be yourself. Don't let anybody tell you who you should be. And you will make it or don't make it just as if you tried to follow them. He taught me that. God bless him. In fact, when he came to New York, that's when I really got to know him. I would be on the stage playing. Whoa, 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 he said, give me that. And he'd take the bass and start playing, and I would love it. And I would go and watch him. And then I would take the bass and play it, he'd take the bass and play it, so he was very touchable. It wasn't one of those things a star just walked in. He was very touchable. And from that, I got to know him. And one time I walked in the club with him, Delmar, and Woody, Kenwood, and they started playing, you know that song. And Jack said, oh, Tim just came in, come play. I said, not that song. I don't know, I don't know that. So then I walked up on the stage, he gave me the bass, and I just started going, play it in the people's key. E! God, come on! And they just started funking with me because I didn't play his lick. But what he did like, he said, what I like about you, TM, is not only you take inspiration, but you make it you. Be you. take what we did and then make your own sauce and be you. That's what he did. I love that punk attitude. You too? Woo! Of course. Hallelujah, holla back. Jaco's attitude was, I'm Jaco, damn it. Y'all saw that skit. Remember Rick James? I'm Rick James. Well, it's almost like he had that thing, I'm Jaco, and he did Jaco 100%, 100% of the time. But he did take the bass and he put it to another level, such as Larry Graham, who took the bass, if you're familiar with that, because everybody was going, Motown, right? That was Jaco's roots, Motown, right? And he said, Mom, there's no drums. And Mom said, honey, we can't afford drums in the church. We ain't got no money. We need a drummer. So he said, what am I gonna do? You bass drum, snare. Started playing it. Then he added notes. And that's how that developed. Jaco, on the other hand, wanted to hear melody and chords and things because he heard the orchestra in his head. So instead of doing that, he just started, he added all those colors to the bass. He's an innovator. Anthony, my God, he was playing with Buddy Rich when I met him. That guy could read fly poop on a paper. He'd be playing fly poop, pop. What was that note? Oh, sorry, let me wipe it off. That's how killer reader he was, but his feel is unreal. And Anthony, you know, won't do all the slapping and popping. He has the Anthony style, and he actually invented the 5-string bass. Did you know that? He called it the contrabass. Because back then, I don't know if you guys remember, the synth bass took over for a while. And the thing that they could do is, that's a C, the synth bass could go lower. And people wanted those low notes, and that extra string gave the lower note. Then you got, who else now? You got Anthony, you got, Stanley. I was playing and I opened for him. I was with John McLaughlin, Mahavishnu. And I came out with a little amp like this, about the size of that. And Stanley came out and he had this big house. He's going, remember that? And that gave me the idea for chords. And then Jaco would go. You recognize that? So I said, now how would Blackula do that? If I played a harmonic and slap and go. Hear it? So what I did was I just took what he did was, and I just made it, oh! Can't let go of my brother Jaco. I took it and made a rhythm out of it. And that was from his idea of playing the harmonics to add chords to the bass. So I didn't just sit there and try to copy every note the man did, although they're great notes. I think you should take the basic of what something is and develop something else. Somebody plants the seed, you grow the plant. And don't get me started. You guys are nuts. I love it. よろしくお願いします。ありがとうございましたね。